Welcome back to another episode of Talking Sports with your boy DP. You feel me? You know this your boy DP here with you, and we gonna get into week 3 a little bit. Talk about what happened over the weekend. You feel me? And I'm gonna give you some predictions for week 4. You feel me? Because I haven't been doing that consistently, so I'm gonna start consistently giving y'all some predictions also after I do my little recap of the games I found interesting or that caught my eye over this past weekend. But first thing first, we're gonna go ahead and hop into that Georgia versus Kentucky. Georgia win 13-12 over Kentucky, man. And this was a game where I feel like, Carson Beck, I feel like he struggled, and he hasn't been looking like the Carson Beck I thought he was going to look like this season. I thought he was going to take, the college football by storm this year, you feel me? Really make a statement on his name, you feel me? A statement for himself. But the Georgia offense as a whole, I feel like they missing that key weapon, that go-to guy for Carson Beck. 'Cause I feel like Carson Beck, he needs him a security blanket, like that Brock Bowers was last year, you feel me? That, be open for him when he need him, But 15 for 24, 160 yards, 6.7 yards per pass for Carson Beck. Yeah, and then too, I feel like Georgia was kind of forcing the run a little bit, and I don't understand why they're not involving Dominique Lovett in the game plan more. They need to get him more involved, because when honestly this year, when I think of Georgia, I don't see anybody that just like, oh, I got a game plan for him, or I got to make sure I scheme my game plan around this particular player on Georgia's offense. And I'm trying to say there's nobody there that just scares me, per se. Like, I don't get that Brock Bowers this year or any other player that I can think of, even from last year, that was making explosive plays. I don't get that this year from Georgia as far as the offense. And I wonder if they play another offensive team in the SEC that can put up some points and score points, will they also have a rough day? But what I do want to say about this game, Georgia defense is for real. Now, let me see here. They gave up 170 total yards of rushing from Kentucky. They let Kentucky have 170 rushing yards. 98 of those came from Demi Cranbay. I want to say that's how you pronounce his name. Running back for Kentucky. But Georgia defense was on the field a lot, man, because the offense couldn't, get no production to help them out. You feel me? Give them a break, per se. But what I will say, for Georgia to be on the field as much as they held it down, and they did not allow Kentucky to get in the end zone. And what I want to say about Kentucky is, which I know Georgia got a good defense, feel me? Let me say that first. But how bad is Kentucky offense really? They haven't scored a touchdown in 2 weeks. They have a scoring problem. And I don't know if it's well, I know they don't have the much as talent as everybody else in the SEC, but Kentucky do have talent. And two, what I want to say, maybe it's the game planning, maybe it's the play calling, maybe it's the scheming. Maybe they got to do a better job of scheming guys open and putting guys in position to be able to score, because it's been multiple times where I see Kentucky be in competitive games with teams that no one thought they were going to be in, because they have a good O-line, a good D-line, they have good linebacker play. Usually that's what Kentucky usually have. Every so on and so often, they might have a big-time playmaker on offense. And I ain't going to necessarily say a big-time playmaker, but a guy that gets most of their offensive production. So Kentucky did come out here and have a good job. Play good football for the most part, other than they couldn't get the ball in the end zone. Brock Vandagriff, 14 of 27, 114 passing yards. I ain't gonna lie, he didn't lose them the game. To be honest with you, I don't feel like Brock Vandagriff is a bad quarterback for Kentucky. I feel like he had a pretty decent game. The passing yardage don't state that, but as far as him getting up out of the pocket when he needed to sometime, it really helped Kentucky, survive in some of those drives that they had. And Georgia also had what do I say? What I want to say. Georgia also got held to 3.4 yards per rush this game. And that's a credit to Kentucky's defensive line and linebackers. Like I say, they usually have good defensive line and linebackers. You feel me? They got some big boys up there, the SEC football. So it was good. What do I want to say? It was a good, hard-fought battle by Kentucky. But honestly, I just felt like if Georgia could have got an offensive rhythm going, they would have blew out Kentucky, because Kentucky couldn't take advantage. Kentucky couldn't take advantage of the opportunities they was given, to be honest with you. And good teams do what good teams do when they might have a bad day on offense or defense. They still find a way to win the game. And Georgia ended up scoring a touchdown, I want to say, and late in the third or in the fourth. It was one of the third or fourth. It was late touchdown to really get them the lead, because Kentucky was leading for a while. But field goals is not gonna get the job done when you're playing the number one team in the nation. If you got your foot on their neck, you gotta go ahead and put the pressure down. Can't be tiptoeing out there just hoping you can field goal your way through this thing. Nope. Gotta find a way to get in the end zone. I want to say Coach Stoops at Kentucky, maybe that's his name. I don't know for sure. I don't know that much about Kentucky football. I just know here and there a little bit of what they usually are and how they usually play for the most part. But if I was Kentucky, I'd try to focus my offense on the run game. And because you got a running quarterback, Vandagriff can run a little bit, so I build my offensive scheme around that. And if I can get some kind of passing attack in there some way, I'll do that. But for the most part, I'll focus on getting all my offensive production out of the run game, because passing, it don't look that great for Kentucky, to be honest with you. What else I have for that game? Georgia also had 9 penalties for 85 yards. So that's unlike Georgia football. Georgia usually have that cleaned up. And what I wanted to also go back to Dominic Lovett, how I say Georgia need to focus their offense through him, because the man had 6 receptions, 89 yards, 14.8 yards per catch. So he's the one that I see on the field, that's looks somewhat dynamic for Georgia. So get him more involved. Carson Beck, get the ball to Dominic Lovett a little bit more, you feel me? The coaches, y'all got to scheme this man open and scheme ways to get him the ball more and let him make more plays. Because honestly, I feel like they try to force the run a little too much, and they should have just gave Carson Beck a little bit more time to get in rhythm, because he was off. I'm going to be honest with you. Carson Beck was off in the beginning of the game. It wasn't looking good for him. But they should have just kept going back to Dominic Lovett, short passes or whatever. Just get him involved, get his hands on the ball, and let him make plays. But the next game I want to talk about, one of the games, a real interesting game of this weekend, or past weekend, was LSU versus South Carolina. LSU come on top 36-33. But before I get deep into this game, I really want to say I picked South Carolina to win this game, and they were supposed to. South Carolina had every opportunity to win this game and did not take advantage of it. And also, their quarterback went down, Sellers. The young man, I want to say Lenore Sellers. He went down, and it changed the whole momentum of the game for the South Carolina Gamecocks. It's like the team energy wasn't there the same, and they still was able to make particular plays, interceptions, and the block punt. They just couldn't get the job done once Lenore Sellers went out. And I also want to say they should have just stuck with the run game. They should have just kept running the ball the rest of the game. You had Raheem Sanders with 19 carries, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, 7.5 yards per carry. They should have just kept running the ball with Sanders and let him ride it out once Lenore Sellers got out of the game. Because Lenore Sellers, he was balling 9 of 16, 113 passing yards, 1 INT. But his run game, his legs was what was lethal. 10 carries, 88 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground for Lenore Sellers. So yeah, South Carolina, they really fumbled the bag on this one. And these jokers also had 13 penalties for 123 yards, 3 turnovers, 2 lost fumbles, and an interception. I can't just sit here and say, good job for LSU for fighting back in the second quarter. I will say that, they got some life. They came back fighting in the second quarter. And they, they slowly chopped down this lead. But they had a lot of help from South Carolina. They saved them a lot. 13 penalties, 123 yards. It's hard to beat anybody, especially when you're trying to keep and maintain the lead. And once Lenore Sellers went out, they had no type of passing threat whatsoever after that. So, Coach, I feel like he had got a little too cocky. I can't think of South Carolina head coach his first name or last name. But what I would say, I feel like he got too cocky. Because I seen you smiling big and stuff when y'all was up late in the game. But you got to finish the job. You got to finish. But what I would say about South Carolina, I wouldn't underestimate them, especially if they get Lenore Sellers back and get them back healthy. Because they just got to clean up a few things. They got to get more discipline for sure. And shoot, if you can run the ball, run that ball. You feel me? Make them stop you from running. And even then, if you don't get the first down, you can at least punt it and put the LSU Tigers in bad field position so your defense can play how they was playing. The defense was playing real good. And we got my boy Garrett Nussmeier, 24 of 40, 285 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT. But really, I feel like LSU found themselves a running back, man. You got Caden Durham, 11 carries, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns, 8.9 yards per carry. He was out there toting that rock. And Aaron Anderson, slot receiver, 5 receptions, 96 yards. He came through and made a lot of big-time catches for Nussmeier when he needed him the most. Now, they was hitting Nussmeier all game, but some of those hits wasn't legal, and it was also helping out LSU offense. Some of the late hits about blocking the backs that South Carolina was doing, the roughing the pass, some of the bonehead mistakes, it was basically just trying to hand LSU the game. I'm talking about LSU even had a early snap by the center. Nussmeier ain't even see it, hit him on the shoulder. South Carolina get the ball in great field position, but South Carolina could not seal the deal and put this game in the books for nothing in this world. I guess it just wasn't meant for them. But playing sloppy like this with 13 penalties, how could you? And South Carolina was 3 of 12 on third downs. Couldn't get it done. But they got Nussmeier like twice. But LSU took advantage of the backup quarterback being in the game and ended up coming away with 5 sacks for the entire game. LSU fought hard, they played hard, and they started to dominate the line of the scrimmage in the second half. But I feel like South Carolina just should have just kept running the ball and pounding the rock, coming up with different schemes and formations to pound that rock. What else do I got from this game? Well, yeah, LSU gave up 243 total yards rushing. This is why I'm sitting here saying that they should have pounded that rock, South Carolina. But you gave up on your bread and butter that was really winning you the game. Yeah, you let me down, South Carolina. But LSU, a good win, you feel me? We'll see what you guys do next week. I can't think of who y'all playing, but I'm pretty sure y'all probably got a W coming. But the last game I want to talk about, week 3, old Texas A&M versus them Florida Gators. Texas A&M 33, Florida 20. Now, how I want to say this and how I want to start talking about this, Marcel Reed. Listen, Florida, y'all probably wanted to see Connor Wigman instead of Marcel Reed, because Marcel Reed done put the SEC on notice. Let's just say that. Because the young man was out there balling, and he got some nice quarterback mechanics, you feel me? I liked what I seen. He was 11 of 17, 178 passing yards, and 2 touchdowns with a QBR 87.2. Marcel Reed also had 13 carries for 83 yards and a touchdown. And Le'Veon Moss was running that rock also with 18 carries and 110 yards. Listen, Florida, it was embarrassing, to be honest with you, how many missed tackles I seen. They can't tackle. Their pursuit is very lackluster. I don't see enough guys getting to the football. They act like they don't want to tackle. They don't want to pursue the ball carrier. It's getting bad out there. There should be no reason why these guys come in here, the swamp, and have 310 total rushing yards on the day. They ran every each and way they wanted to, and it was nothing Florida Gators could have did about it or done about it. It was ridiculous. 310 total yards rushing. Now, Billy, you probably gone, to be honest with you. But if you're not gone and they do give you another chance to give you another season because you got a lot of money they got to pay out, get rid of that defensive coordinator. I'm sorry. He don't know what he's doing. And then you brought the, I can't think of who y'all brought in to help him out because he's a youngster. It ain't looking too good. These guys look like they give up too early. I want to say it's like the second quarter and these guys barely pursuing to the football, getting to the football. I'm seeing 1 or 2 guys get to the football and missing tackles. But also, Cyrus Allen for Texas A&M wide receiver, 3 receptions, 81 yards, and a touchdown, man. But what I want to say to Florida, you should have just stuck with Graham Mertz and, you feel me, played him from the beginning to the end. Because I don't feel like a guy should lose his job because he was out from an injury. And Graham Mertz ain't that bad. It's really the play calling to me. The way they try to do this east and west kind of offense, man. You got to get vertical if you want to be a threat to somebody. If you want people to, you feel me, unload the box instead of having the box loaded up, daring you to go sideways, you feel me? Daring you to go vertical. But Graham Mertz, 12 of 15, 195 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Elijah Badger, 5 receptions, 94 yards and a touchdown. And Shamir Dyke, 9 receptions, 91 yards and a touchdown. That's why I see Florida have playmakers. Florida have guys that can make plays on their roster and on their offense. I don't think they're utilizing these players to the best of their ability. I don't feel like Florida Gators got the same problem as Florida State do. I feel like Florida Gators have the players to make plays. And one thing too, they are a victim of a tough schedule. But to Florida's advantage, to Florida's benefit, say it like that, no one knew Marcel Reed was gonna come out here and ball the way he balled. That young man is something serious, I will tell you that. But Florida was 2 of 9 on third downs, couldn't get it done on third down. Texas A&M had 488 total yards of offense. And what's crazy about it, this game could have been a lot worse than what it was. It was 33-20. Texas A&M had 13 penalties for 110 yards. So just imagine if Texas A&M had played cleaner football, this would have been a butt spanking of the century for the Florida Gators. But we'll see what them Gators do next week. I'll talk about that in a second because I'm going to give y'all my picks now. Feel me? Talk about a few games that I want to know, see, that caught my eye. Week 4, it ain't too many crazy or major games going on. But Clemson versus North Carolina. Clemson versus North Carolina State. Correction. Clemson, number 21 ranked team in the nation. And they're a 20-point favorite in this game. Who did I pick? I'm obviously picking Clemson in this game. North Carolina State starting quarterback Grayson McCall has went down, and they're putting in their freshman C.J. Bailey, freshman from Chaminade Madonna High School down here in Florida. I want to say Broward County, if I could be wrong. But yeah, man, they got Clemson as a 20-point favorite. I definitely feel like Clemson will win this game. I don't feel like Clemson is the type of team that you want to bring out a freshman for, which NC State don't have nobody else. But it's gonna be a lot. Clemson's gonna throw everything that CJ Bailey can handle. You feel me? And I don't know if he's gonna be able to process those blitz packages and everything else that Clemson's gonna throw at that young freshman. But you never know. He might come out there and do something great. But I'm still picking Clemson. Do I pick Clemson to cover? Oh, man. I don't think Clemson's offense is as good as Tennessee, so I don't think they're going to just roll all over NC State. So I feel like Clemson win, but I don't feel like they cover. You feel me? I don't feel like Clemson's going to cover this game, but I feel like they're going to win. Florida versus Mississippi State. Florida's a 6-point favorite, but a lot of people think this is the battle of the trash, per se. But what I will tell you about this game, I feel like Florida should get this one. This should be a W for the Gators. Because Mississippi State just recently lost to Toledo, 41-17. So I don't have no confidence at all that Mississippi State gonna win this game. And I feel like Florida gonna win. And I feel like they can obviously cover at least 6 points. I feel like Florida can win by at least 10. Put it that way. And the next game I want to talk about, USC, number 11 team in the nation versus Michigan, number 18 team in the nation. They got USC a 5.5-point favorite. Now, the thing about this game is Michigan has been struggling to show the world that they have a passing offense. And their running game, it doesn't look as dominant as it did last year. And USC, on the other hand, has been playing some pretty decent defense. And we all know Coach Ricky Lively gonna dial up those plays on offense. And you got Miller Moss, you feel me, on the helm, you feel me, at the quarterback position. So, with that being said, I'm going with USC to win this game. And they got USC a favorite by 5.5. So, I feel like USC will definitely cover and definitely win this game. It's not a big, you feel me, difference in the game margin of the game. I don't know what I just said, but it's not a big difference when it comes to these teams. I'm gonna put that. It's not a big difference when it comes to these teams. To me, I feel like it could be a coin toss, but I'm going USC and I'm going USC to cover. It's only 5.5 points. And then the game I want to talk about last. Well, I'm not gonna talk about it last. I'm gonna mention my Canes, because it's all about the U. You feel me? But the last game I want to talk about besides my Hurricanes is Georgia Tech versus Louisville. Louisville, number 19 team in the country. I haven't seen much from Louisville because they haven't played any competition for real. So I would really have to see them play more competition. This is the best game for me to get a good look of what Louisville look like. Louisville is a 10-point favorite in this game, but I'm not picking Louisville to win this game. I'm picking Georgia Tech to win this game and to cover. The only reason I say that, because Louisville, y'all got to show me y'all can stop the run. I can't, and I know Georgia Tech can run the ball, and they have an offense. You feel me? Hayes King out there looking good. They got a running game. And their offense can be explosive a little bit at times. I don't know how much Louisville can stop the run. Just this past weekend, Louisville gave up 130 rushing yards to Jacksonville State, 4.1 yards per carry. So Louisville got to prove to me they can stop the run. So I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say Georgia Tech beats Louisville this weekend. But we shall see. And just to mention my Canes, because you know it's all about the U. You know I'm picking us to beat USF, and I don't understand why these people talking all this noise, talking all this mess. It's just crazy to me. I don't know what made USF to feel like they could just have the audacity to just talk trash about my Canes. What have y'all done? But it is what it is. We're gonna show y'all. I'm calling 58-9. Y'all get 3 field goals, but that's it. I think we 17-point favorite, man. We finna cover that easily. I don't care what they did when they was playing against Alabama. Alabama probably was just playing around with them boys and then woke up and say, let's get for real. And you seen what happened at the end of that game. So I don't want to hear nothing about no USF. Oh, they move the ball fast than the third. Well, if you move the ball fast and don't convert on third downs, you just gonna be putting Cam Ward on the field real fast. And how you like me now? And also, before I slide out on y'all, you feel me, and say deuces, I want to mention a team I feel like gonna be a sleeper team in the Big Ten. Shout out to Truck and Chug, man, my boy over there on Fan Point of View. You feel me? I be over there rocking out my boy sometime. He put me on to Indiana, man, in the Big Ten. Indiana, they got a quarterback, and that quarterback look nice, man. He out there slinging that thing and letting everybody eat. So watch out for Indiana in the Big Ten. I could just be talking outside of my neck, but I watched them against UCLA, and they was giving UCLA the business. They couldn't do nothing. They couldn't do nothing with that quarterback. I can't remember his name. He's number 9, but he can sling that rock. But with that being said, you feel me? Like, share, subscribe. It's all about the U. Go Canes, you feel me? And I am out. Deuces, baby.